seatbelt off.
I don't know if I'm going to edit that out. Hey, welcome to another Midnight Review presented by Glasshouse Films. I'm Carson with a slightly less beard going on. This is Nick No Beard.
Damn, dude.
I cut deep. Yeah, so we are here and we are watching the final, and I'm really happy about this for a few reasons, the final Maze Runner film.
Mm-hmm.
Maze Runner, The Death Cure.
The Death Cure.
So, part of the reason why I'm excited about that is this movie was heavily delayed because the main star, Dylan O'Brien, got into a apparently pretty gnarly...
Second week of shooting?
Yes. Yeah, barely into shooting. It was news report. Shooting started. Shooting has stopped. Because Dylan O'Brien got into this major, like, very Mark Hamill-esque accident that kind of rearranged his face a little bit. Not to the same extent, but yeah, he got into a pretty major accident. Then he had, as soon as he recovered, he still had like obligations to other movies. So it's like, okay, he had to rearrange. But anyway, we're finally getting the final film, and the other reason why this excites me is a lot of the trend since the last Harry Potter movies was take the last book, split it in two. And the director came out after the second movie came out and he was like, no, we're not splitting the next one into two. It is one movie. And I'm like, you know what?
Thank God.
That's some pretty good integrity you got going on. So, it's weird that I'm praising that because at the same time, the Scorch Trials movie felt jam-packed.
It really did.
Like, the first movie, yeah, that adapted
very,
from the first book,
plot.
very straightforward. Yeah, the second one, I'm like, you could have broken that up a little bit, and I would have been fine because there was a ton of content and stuff just happening. So, but either way, here we are at the third one, and I'm kind of curious to see where it goes because, spoilers, at the end of the second one, they find out that the chick the main character had lovey-dovey eyes for was kind of working for the other side.
She like
in a weird way.
But for like the greater good.
Yeah,
kind of
so it's like, oh, we're now like up against her. From the footage I've seen, there looks to be a very Fast and Furious-esque like train robbery.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, all right, let's see what you got. So, yeah, it's to me, it's the little franchise that could. It's like, okay, this is better than I've expected it to be at every turn, and I expect this one to be, no less good. Like, it's going to be, I am hoping it's good. And at the very least, it can't be any worse than Proud Mary.
I don't think it can.
I mean,
I also don't think it could be any worse than any of like the Divergent, Insurgent.
No. These are far better than all of those. Yeah.
It's just like a straightforward. Not exactly like by the numbers. Like there's a fair deal of like twists and turns.
What makes, in my opinion,
just like fun to watch.
Yeah, what makes these work is they have a lot of weird sci-fi elements all working together, and then they pepper in these really big explosive set pieces that are really cool. Like when they're having to run away from the Last of Us zombies. In the second one, that was a really cool scene. And then again with this one in the trailer, it's like, oh, we got kind of weird train robbery going on. Cool.
There's definitely like, for kind of not being like the most popular like young adult like series, it's got like some really good like explosive kind of moments that you wouldn't expect. Well,
what really helped is the first movie came out, and I think like opening weekend it made its budget back. So it's like, oh, they're weird sleeper hits that are pretty popular and pretty successful in circles that we're not really part of.
Yep.
But it's like, cool, I'll watch the movies. They seem like a fun time. That's all I want. I want a good, fun action movie. That's it. Make it simple. Good, fun action film.
Good, fun action film.
So let's go watch this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
just like that, through the magic of editing, we are back from seeing, I guess, just the Death Cure. I mean, it's definitely Maze Runner the Death Cure, but
there was very little maze running.
Oh yeah, yeah. True. Although I did like in Patricia Clarkson's office, you could see like ornamental maze and what looked like you just put a vanity mirror in the middle of it. I kind of thought that was nice. But yeah, the very definitive final installment in the Maze Runner trilogy, and I gotta say, ended on a really high note. I genuinely enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, I definitely think it was the best of the three.
Absolutely. Sure. And honestly, even with my rudimentary or my lackluster memory of the previous movies, you could almost go into this blind. I mean, just acknowledge that it's going to be the third one.
Almost.
Yeah, and understand that there are some character relationships you might not fully understand, but you can almost go into it blind. The story itself is almost a revenge story. Like save someone,
like a revenge
and a revenge
like
story.
A heist kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. And
very heisty.
I feel like throughout these movies, they've really done a great job of, especially after the first one. I almost feel like the first one is more a prologue for the next two.
Yeah, it really is, because like it ends with them, finally figuring out that the world's like super fucked.
Yeah.
And then the next two movies deal with the world.
And the only thing is the first movie establishes, okay, these guys are immune, and if they can figure their way out of the maze, they're immune and they have what we need from them. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much, that's what that first movie is. But it also does a really good job because it's I won't say a slower film, but it's almost more a character film where it establishes those characters and the relationship. So the next two films can just be plot and we're moving. So I mean, sure, the whole franchise, I gotta say, for the whole franchise works because it kind of transcends the young adult adaptation genre.
Like for the most part, yeah.
I mean,
I think it has.
There's one aspect that's a little bit you playing into it. The romance between Thomas and Teresa.
For me, it was like the and I don't know if this is because of the books, but just like the sense that at certain points in the movie, it's like, the stakes aren't that high because it's like, I don't think that this person can die right here.
Yeah.
And so it's like
that's fiction in general.
Yeah, but I mean this movie specifically,
YA kind of.
There's like double-digit amount of times where it's like someone is in grave peril.
However,
is saved.
However, I will actually let that go, in that it bypasses the tropes of, I'm gonna go do this thing. Well, I'm coming with you. No, you're not coming with me. But I'll come with, like, it's. I'm going on this thing. I'm coming with you. No, you're not. Okay, you are. And it's like, okay, a little hokey, but it moves right through it.
Wait, but there was a character that wasn't gonna go with them that ended up going with them after being like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going with you.
I'm just like,
no, there were two. That actually happened twice in the movie where it was like, I'm not going with you. And then they show up. No, it happened 3 times. It happened 3 times.
Yeah.
So it didn't transcend. It happened 3 times.
No. What I'm getting at is that it doesn't focus solely on the argument. It's like, all right, fuck it. Next cool action scene.
For me, it's like, for me, I keep wondering why they're splitting up in the first place.
Yeah.
Why are you all just going together?
After the first one... The first one I understand, because they couldn't really go with everyone that they had at the ship.
Yeah.
But after that, why are you split? Well, the one with Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins is in this movie, BT Dubs. That one also made a little bit of sense. No, it made total sense because of the parameters he put on that. But I'm just saying, those two, all the others, you're absolutely correct.
I mean, the premise is the same. I mean, you can dodge around it, but that's pretty much what it is. Though.
But I gotta say, like, okay, yeah.
I do like Walton Goggins' character. Though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For
makeup on him?
Little time he was in the movie.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And his last scene is also like so Walton Goggins.
It is very Walton Goggins.
So, I was gonna say, okay, little bit of plot armor, okay, fine. If that's a problem for you, you'll have a problem with this film.
I mean, you'll have a problem with like young adult movies in general, really.
Yeah. So the story as is after the events of the second movie, Teresa, the main love interest, she had betrayed everyone because she thought that the other side was actually correct. And what Wicked was doing was not wicked. It was in fact good. So she betrayed everyone, and she took a few of the other characters' friends. And a large part of this film is built on, we're gonna go get them back. So it's Thomas, Newt, a few other people from the first two movies going to go get their friends. That's really where the movie starts. And that's a good chunk of the movie.
That's really the gist of it. I mean, you can't really explain much more without going into spoiler
exactly.
territory, so.
But I gotta say, from the opening scene, I was really into it, because the opening scene, it's a very simple action scene, but it's executed really well. And all of the action scenes, I feel, are executed really, really well.
They are, like,
It's like someone put a lot of money into these.
Like, for, like a PG-13, like, young adult series, like, they're really... They're really, like, kicking ass with a lot of their scenes. Like,
and a lot of... and as we stated before, the Dylan O'Brien kid getting messed up, it's because he was doing his own stunt, and there's a lot of scenes that you can tell, like, oh, they're doing their own stunt, which I think helps make those scenes work, because you're not trying to cut so heavily to, like, mask that it's a stunt double. So I think the action was fantastic, and, hand in hand with that, I think that the way the film was shot, just in general, was really good. There's a lot of really beautiful shots to the film, especially near the end when the action really ramps up. It's shot very, very well. I'm like, there was kind of a part of me that's like, this is just a step below what Alfonso Cuarón was doing in the climactic scene of Children of Men, where you're just single camera following someone through that. I'm like, this is pretty high up there. Like, this is unusually good action. So, that really worked.
like the dialogue, like a bit tropey. It could be, but it's like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You know that going in,
Yeah. And you know what? It never got on my nerves.
It was never groan-inducing.
Yeah. Plus, the movie moved so fast that you couldn't. It's not like the movie moved
it was just like,
so
you
fast.
You get your stereotypical speech kind of like here and there.
Yeah.
Where they, this is our final stand kind of speech, It's like, it's like there's only so many different ways you could say that. So I'll give it a pass.
Yeah. But even with that, it's like, okay, the this is our final stand speech. Couple lines, and we're moving on. We're making our final stand. Yeah, it was just really fun. It moved at a breakneck pace. We got out. I'm like, oh, it's only that time? Oh, okay. Yeah. I think the movie was under 2.5 hours.
It was very, like, to the point. Yeah. I mean, it had a very, like, definitive ending.
Which, great.
Which, I mean, the ending worked. That was good.
Yeah.
I've never read the books. I'm never going to read the books. But,
same.
I don't see how they could have split that into two stories.
I could, but it would involve a lot of filler. And that's the big problem with a lot of movies.
I mean, how would they have split it? Like, Oh,
where would the scene have been?
Yeah, like, where would that have been?
Yeah. But
I don't know.
at the same
we
time,
finally got into the city.
Yeah, but that also happened so early in the film.
Yeah, they get in the main place we're getting into, the last city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't even really call it a spoiler, but without spoiling too much, they basically just find a way to walk in. It was kind of like it was like a not as terrible version of Atomic Blonde, where we're like, how do they just keep going on either side all the time? It made sense though. Like,
yeah, especially that it's like, okay, for all these characters, yeah, it's the first time. But this one guy, this ain't his first rodeo, so just kind of follow him and you'll be fine.
That means that some of the returning characters are pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that paid off. At first, I was like, but then as the movie went along, it's like, oh no, this was the right choice.
This was good.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, just surprising. I am genuinely surprised by how much I've enjoyed that movie-going experience.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to. Like, I just thought it was, like, gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Scorch Trials was, like...
It was
kind of like a weird, like, teenage road movie.
Yeah.
Where they're, like...
But it was still unexpectedly a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then the first one was like, oh, this is a neat little premise.
Yeah,
and then the twist at the end of the first one was like, huh. The only thing, this is a general franchise thing. Where in the hell did they get those monsters?
I don't know. I don't even know when the movie takes place.
Yeah.
Because, like, they talk to this... There's a kind of, like, this throwaway line where it's a bunch of older people, like, were, like, the Wicked's, like, benefactors or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you know anybody that's, like, you know, died to the flare? And she's talking to, like, an old lady, and you'd think, like, well, if this is, like, a recent virus, she probably knows a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
But she knows, like, one person that's died to it.
Yeah,
it's like, so has it just been, like...
Like, even your stratosphere of being that rich wouldn't protect you that much.
Yeah, because they show that it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how long it's been, and I feel like in the Scorch Trials they actually said how long it is.
Yeah. But I kind of
look at it.
That's on us. We don't blame the movie.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like the Hunger Games, like the first Hunger Games, how it's like a couple. I don't think this movie takes place a couple hundred years in the future.
No,
it can't. No. I don't think it can. But just the whole how they have the genetically engineered dog thing in Hunger Games. I think that maybe they. I don't know. You can see that the whole point is that they go to extreme lengths to, like, get the fear gene from these kids or whatever the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
But
the other along the same lines as that is I also like that I'm specifically looking at Divergent on this one, that all of these events aren't tied to one place, or we're not told, like, oh, we have to get from San Diego to Colorado, or nothing like that.
I've never even seen Divergent. I just heard that they were all bad. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's very much like Chicago. Okay.
Does it all take place in Chicago?
The first two.
This takes place kind of all over. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of hard
stated
to
with
tell.
The second one, very road trippy. So, and this one, there's a bit of travel too.
I mean, they're somewhere by an ocean.
Yeah.
So they're on the East Coast or the West Coast. That's literally all I know.
Yeah, and they said, like, it could take us a week round trip to go and get them.
I don't know.
So, yeah. All right. Yeah, either way, I recommend seeing it.
Yeah,
I think
better than Proud Mary.
Yes. I think it deserves the money. I think, going to see this in the cinema, its spectacle is worth the tenner you'd pay to go see it. So, yeah, what do we have next week? I know sometime soon the God Particle will come out.
I think we're still waiting until, like, April.
Really?
For the
I thought it was sooner than that.
Something comes out on 420.
Oh yeah, you're right. That one does come out on 420 because we were making jokes about that.
God particle 420. Like 13.
I don't know what we're seeing next week.
I want it to be the God particle.
Yes, it needs to be out right now.
Whatever they're gonna call it.
I don't even know if I can.
I hope that they try to fit Cloverfield in the name. Like they're like God Cloverfield particle. Particle Cloverfield God. 10 Cloverfield particle.
I kind of hope though that if I can help it, that we won't see, or I personally won't see any trailers for it before going into it.
I don't think they would have you see any trailers for it.
Their trailer is God Particle coming out this day. God Particle might not even be its real name. Ha ha ha!
It might be something completely different. You'll have to ask when you get to the theater.
Yeah, you get to the cinema, it's like, God Particle? No, okay, what's the newest thing you got? We have this thing, it's really hard to pronounce and it's in Korean for some reason. All right, that's the one, I think that's the one.
That's it.
All right, well, either way, next week we'll be back with something new, so long as the cinemas have something new for us to watch. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/glassfilmshouse, facebook.com/glasshousefilms, and Twitter @glasshousefilms. Thanks, y'all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.